You're being lied to about digital transformation. Now, you've been told that it's about buying the latest AI, migrating to the cloud, or launching a new app. Well, that's a myth. Well, it's a myth that's causing 70% of transformation projects to fail, wasting billions of funds. But what's the real secret? Well, it's not about technology at all. You see, it's about people, and it always has been. It's about user experience. And for you as a designer, this is the single biggest opportunity of your career. I'm speaking from experience, so please stay with me and I'll show you how you could be the one who leads these projects to success. Now, for years, we've seen companies pour money down the drain on transformations that, well, quite simply go nowhere. Well, they buy expensive new software and they force it down on their teams. Sometimes that can be forcefully done beyond measure. And then they wonder why productivity plummets and customers leave. Well, the problem is that they're asking ultimately the wrong questions. You see, they start with, well, what technology should we buy? Instead of, what do our users actually need? See, this is like building a house without a blueprint ultimately. It's expensive, it's chaotic, and the result really, well, it's just unlivable. But you see, this is where UX comes in. Digital transformation is not an IT project, not an IT project alone, that's for sure. It's fundamental to understand that it's a change in how a company delivers value to their customer. And at the heart of that value is the user's experience, the customers who make the organization famous, rich, or whatever the case may be. So we're going to debunk the four most dangerous myths that are holding companies back, as well as designers. Myth number one: digital transformation will drain your budget. Well, this is the most common excuse for inaction. You see, the data shows, and there's a lot of data now to support this, that investing in UX isn't a cost. It's one of the highest return investments a business could possibly make. Now, there was some research done by Forrester, and they found that for every dollar invested in UX, that can return $100. So we're talking about 10,000 return on investment percentile. But that would be 7,300 and 8,500 on return on investment ROI in the UK and European currencies invested respectively. But why am I making this point? Well, it's because good UX drives user adoption. And this is where a new system is intuitive. Employees, you see, when it is, they don't need weeks of training. Now, when a website is seamless, customers don't abandon their carts. Good UX drives reduced errors. It makes sure that there is increased efficiency. It boosts revenue. So it's not a budget drain. It's an engine ultimately for growth. Now, some companies that I've spoken with in my days as a consultant years before, well, they used to say things such as, well, we didn't get that kind of ROI that we expected, and we expected 100%. Well, that begs the question, well, was it actually good UX in the first place? And did your organization completely digitally transform? See, these are the two questions that normally reveal much about what you would need to know if you're in that position to ask such questions. But remember, good UX drives user adoption, and a 50% completed digital transformation will not get you 100% ROI. You see, the maths, or they simply don't add up. Well, myth number two: this is an IT problem. Nobody else needs to worry. Well, this is where most transformations tend to fail because it becomes completely IT based. So when you let the IT department lead without any input whatsoever, you're going to get solutions that are technically functional, which is perfectly fine from an IT perspective, but practically unusable from a user perspective, the most important user group of all, the users. A survey even showed that a primary barrier to transformation is a lack of support and understanding from top management, and not just the IT department alone. So the IT department are not at fault here solely. You see, successful transformation requires collaboration across every department: sales, marketing, operations, product, and of course, customer service. And who is trained to be the bridge between all of these departments? Well, the orchestrator of this complex symphony. That's the UX professional. We talked about the UX generalist in the previous video. Check that one out when you can. You see, this is a massive level up for designers because you're no longer pushing pixels at this point. You're now facilitating conversations. You're mapping complex user journeys that involve multiple business units. And of course, you're ensuring that the final product serves human needs. So you may even be mapping out more complex blueprints, such as a service blueprint, not just a customer journey map or PUDO map or things of that nature. You see, this requires soft skills, especially when you start to get into the complex aspect of design leadership, communication, persuasion. This is more than just the technical know-how, of course, of knowing how to work out what shortcut keys you need to do to make things a bit quicker when you produce a design. Myth number 3. We need an extreme all or nothing transformation. Now you see, many leaders, they tend to think that we need to tear down everything from start to finish. But this isn't only just intimidating, but it's counterproductive as well. You see, true transformation is about sustainable, incremental change focused on the highest impact areas. And how do you find those areas? Well, you start with the user. At the top level, the correct order always is: 1. Discover your user needs. You see, conduct thorough research and try to understand what the pain points are, where the friction points are in their current workflow, what's happening in that moment, in the current situation, the status quo. Number 2, understand how to fulfill those needs. So you want to map out the ideal user journey, and you can do that by trying to understand how you can make their lives easier, more productive, and more satisfying. These are the types of questions that you need to try and pose when you're creating that map. And number 3, only then, after you've done those first 2 things, then you go about selecting the right technology. See, companies that buy tech first are trying to really fit a square peg into a round hole. You see, that's expensive, that's painful, and it's a guaranteed path to failure. Now, a great example is the rise of the headless commerce realm. So we're talking about composable commerce. This is a brand new architecture that businesses are still starting to realize, because many realize that their monolithic architecture that they currently have is unable to really keep up with the customer expectations. So they use this technology to decouple the front-end experience from the back-end technology. And that allows them to build user-centric experiences without being limited per se by the tech stack that they currently have. So what they've done here is that they've put the user need for flexibility first instead of last, right? So that square peg round hole doesn't exist when you're talking about composable commerce or headless commerce. And you see, this is myth number 4, and this is the most dangerous myth of all. Digital transformation can wait. Well, you see, your competitors, they're not waiting. Your customers, they're not waiting. 70% of the companies that already have started their transformation journey are ahead of you. So the longer you wait, the further you are behind your competitors. Now, for designers, of course, you see, this is your moment. See, the industry is waking up now to the fact that they need designers. They need designers who are multifaceted, UX generalists, or others that have a broad and quite good depth of skill, as it were. You see, they need your user-centric mindset to guide their most valuable, most important strategic initiatives. So getting involved in these projects is how you move from a practitioner to a leader, ultimately. So that's someone who is tactically focused. Then that's somebody who becomes strategically focused as a result. So you're going to be orchestrating across different silos, managing complex stakeholder relationships, and you're going to be tying down design directly to business outcomes. You're not going to be involved in the tactical outputs of things, more so in the outcomes. So you become an advocate for the user, and you're going to be ensuring that the human itself, they remain central to the digital experience being created. So stop thinking about digital transformation as a threat, because it's not. You see it for what it really is. It's the single greatest opportunity for the field of UX to lead on. Now, it's not about code. It's about clarity. It's not about features. It's about feelings. And it's not about technology. It really is about people. So don't just ask for a seat at the table. Show them that you can be part of building that table. Because in the digital age, the most valuable companies will be the ones that deliver the best experience. And that starts with you. Now, I hope you found this insightful or even inspiring. So, are you ready to be that change agent? Well, stay present, stay curious, change your user's world. See you next time.